Bonneville is complete, back on the road, all set and sound, everything is good, which means it is time to prep this thing for power tour, I guess, and fix all the little issues and problems that have occurred over, I don't know, I'd probably say I got 1,200 miles on it within the past month and a half now since we got it running. So did kind of like a mini, I guess you could say, test road trip, drove it to Indy and back, which was about 450 miles round trip. Friggin' flawless. So I'm pretty happy with it. There's a couple things, like I said, I got a whole list of everything. It's just minor stuff plus stuff that I want to do. So yeah. So first thing on the list is issue you've been having ever since I got the car back up and running was the gas gauge. It would never read correctly. It was always, well, I would fill it up and it would go up to full, and then after, I don't know, like a day or so, it would drop right down to E. And we think we figured out the issue here. It was because this rod guy was stuck. So what did you do in order to fix it, Dad?
It would just it would be up at full when it had a full tank, and then it would never drop down. And when it would drop down, it would finally be either at full or wait for all the gas to burn out, and then it would finally drop down. In the middle, it was stuck. So this little rod going through here didn't seat properly in the hole. We had to make that a little bit bigger.
Brass rod right there.
And the spring inside was too tight, not allowing it to, it just kept binding up. So now we're
still sticks up a little, but hopefully
nowhere near as much as it did.
Yeah, like before you'd have to shake it quite a bit in order for it to even go down.
I wish it would just be totally free, but there's just,
I don't know, hopefully the gas will carry it down. So hopefully that should fix our gas tank issue, fingers crossed. And then while it's under here, also changed the diff fluid, no metal coming out of that, so looks like we did everything right. And since the gas tank is still out, I'm gonna go ahead and trim these shackles a little bit because they hang below the quarter. And that has always bothered me. And then over here in the trunk, I'm gonna weld in like a hook right here and a hook right here so I can toss my toolbox in and ratchet that down. Since we got the gas tank out, I'm doing a couple other little projects in the back here, but really quick, I wanted to explain one more thing about the gas tank because I realized I forgot to kind of explain it last night. So the reason, or how we figured out that little spring and a rod in the sending unit was the issue was we had the, well, we took it all out, hooked the sending unit up to the car, moved it manually with the gauge to make sure that both of those actually worked. Gauge is accurate with the float and the sending unit, so that was all good. Then we put it in a bucket of water to make sure it actually, you know, float up and down, like there wasn't a pinhole or anything in it, and it did just that. But while we were doing that, we saw it was kind of like binding up, so that's how we figured out it was that little rod in the spring that wasn't allowing it to float up and down smoothly, I guess. So I don't know, that's all we could find after tearing everything apart and looking at it. So fingers crossed, that's the issue. Online, a bunch of other people said with the aftermarket, you know, sending units and stuff, there's always little issues like this, and I think that was one of the common issues. So we'll find out here soon. But in the back, I went ahead and trimmed up these shackles like I was talking about. They always hung down below the quarter. I never liked how it looked, and as you can see now, they don't anymore. So I took about 1.5 inches off each one. I'll go ahead, prime and paint those little bottom spots, and we can call that project there done. And then in the trunk here, I went ahead and made some tie-down points for my toolbox. So got a little U-hook deal going on there with a plate, and then one on the other side. Got my toolbox strapped down so that won't be sliding around in the back here. I was tired of having it behind my seat, so I dig it. I'm gonna go ahead and actually get a black ratchet because I'm OCD and think the blue looks dumb. But I'm gonna clean this up, prime, paint that, you know the deal, and call, I think, all the projects in the back here done. So our gas gauge fix from last week ended up not working. The gauge still doesn't move, which was sweet. So after a lot of testing, hooking things up, trying to see what was broken, we still didn't figure anything else out. I mean, it's not the gauge, it's not any of the wiring. We hooked everything up. It's weird. So we came to the conclusion that it's probably the resistor on the sending unit, and the gas was doing something funky with the resistor, allowing it to not actually function. I don't know. I hope that was really it. So we just swapped out sending units. This is the old one right here. Got a new one, tossed it back in. Just put the tank back up in the car, so I literally have no gas in it right now, which made it nice and easy to drop. But now I can't really see, so I don't know, maybe, when I go fill up tomorrow or whatnot, or whenever I finish the next project, I'll show you in a second. We'll find out. Other than that, I mean, fingers crossed that's it. It should be it. I mean, I'm driving myself freaking nuts, and we're going insane over here why this isn't working. It's the weirdest thing. I'll be so happy once it actually works. But the next project here is the cowl piece. So if you've seen this car in person or seen me talk about this before, this cowl is pretty trashed. It's pretty wrecked up. I don't know what someone was thinking. You can see like plug welds or something. Someone was trying to drill something, and then there's like some, I don't even know. I wouldn't even call it Bondo. That's like rock solid. It almost looks like concrete, although it's probably not. So I just popped like the wipers off, starting to get it prepped. Gotta take the hood off next. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get this done within the next day or two here. And then once this is done, this will be the last, I guess, rust or body repair thing really to do on this car. So I'm excited, knock this out. That'll look a lot better. And then I got a few more things on the list, and less than a week to power tour now. I was honestly expecting that to take a little bit longer than it did, but I got the cowl here, not all the way done, but cut out and pretty much all prepped. Check it out. So this is the final piece I ended up cutting off. Had to just cut off some like scraps and whatnot. But yeah, you can just see the difference alone between that and how beautiful that is. So originally I had, you can see on that one there, I was gonna go below the like wiper arm here, and then once I cut it and was looking at it, it was just gonna be too difficult to try and weld and then do body work under there. So I went ahead and cut over, which you see that's close to the glass, but, or the trim there, but that's not exactly on it. And I'm doing this at the totally wrong time. Should have done it when we replaced the windshield, and then the other opportunity to do it would have been when we had the engine all out and everything, and I repainted the bay. But you know what? We're doing it now because I finally got a cowl, so whatever, it's gonna work. Next step here is I gotta go ahead and vacuum this all out. I'm gonna prime and just paint this under here because it's never been painted. I think I'm gonna go with black just so it'll look cool behind the vents here. Plus if it was orange, you could like see through this and if it gets chipped up or whatnot. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that really quick. I got the bottom side of this, hit it with weld through primer and hit that with black so it's no longer bare anymore. Once that is all set, go ahead, do some final prep, and then I think I'm gonna try to get this thing tacked in here tonight. Just got it tacked in right now. It's not finished, so I don't want to speak too soon, but damn, I'm kind of impressed with myself. That is, I got my gaps all nice. It is flush, the butt welds with it. Oh, that is, man, as long as I don't warp the rest of it here, just take my time. I think I'm gonna go ahead and wait till tomorrow because it's pretty late now to finish it, but that gets me excited. I kind of just did the corners and then I was kind of working my way, jumping around here and there, and then to lift it up in the back here, I was just using these pliers, holding it by the vent, kind of pushing up or down wherever I needed to, but dang. And that spot's smooth. This spot's got a little gap over here, so hopefully that doesn't give me too much trouble in there. But all right, I dig it. I feel like that part took the longest out of anything, but panel is all welded, ground down, ready for some body work now. So it turned out pretty good. That was tricky, bouncing back and forth, trying not to warp anything. And then I was taking a rag and trying to cool the spots down as I was going. I think I did a pretty good job. The only spot that's a little low is this spot right here, which I don't know how that got too low. I'm not totally sure. I think maybe I welded here first and then I went outside, or maybe I did too big of a gap here, but other than that, everything else flows. I mean, very, very nice. I got this lip pretty good. It's a little wavy in some spots, so hopefully I can just straighten that out. I mean, it's nothing too bad, but I dig it. These side pieces turned out really nice. That side piece turned out really nice, and it doesn't look warped at all. So, I mean, we'll be able to tell once I get some primer and actually get some orange on it, but I'm happy with it. The trickiest part was by far this part here, So it just kind of went slow with the welder. Did some small welds around there, a little bit of fill over that, and this thing I think will turn out pretty good. So there we have it. Cowl is all wrapped up after some body work. Went ahead, repatinaed it, and honestly, I think it looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy and proud of how that turned out. My goal was to make it look like, you know, nothing even happened. I think I did a pretty decent job of that. I'm really happy with how the like purple blended out. I was looking at some like old pictures and just tried to match the exact spots of where the sun faded the purple, or I guess faded the orange, so you can see the purple back through. So that's why we got some on the corners here, kind of in all those spots, and it matches the roof stuff really well. So once I go ahead and rebuff this and kind of shine it up and bring some shine back, I think it'll match this better. This is still a little bit shiny, even though I went through and like scuffed it all up and dulled it all down. So it definitely matches a lot more, but man, that is so much better than that old cowl. You guys saw what it looked like. I mean, thing was junk. So yeah, this car was originally the orange, then somebody had purple at one point, then orange back on top, so that's why you can see the purple fading through. So I did same thing, primer, purple, orange, and then kind of just hazed the purple in a few spots, sanded it through, because it's not just the sun fading that's the patina. There's these like chips throughout the entirety of the car, and on the cowl there was some. Obviously there was a lot around this area, but there were some in other spots, so I tried to kind of recreate those as well to make it match. So like you can see, I kind of sanded through on this side, kind of scuffed it up, scuffed it around the vents. This edge was pretty chewed up just from, I'm assuming, the hood over the years and whatnot, and that's an edge. That stuff usually gets chipped up and whatnot. So yeah, turned out all pretty flush there, pretty smooth. I dig it. That was a lot of work, but after doing all the metal work on this car thus far, I think I've learned quite a bit, and that was not a bad piece to, I guess, finish off the car, because that was pretty much the last of the metal work. Did everything from the floor, the quarter, tail panel, inner fender, a million little patches and whatnot, and this was pretty much the last thing. So now I've talked about forever, once I did the cowl, I was going to go ahead and clear the car. I don't think I'm gonna do that right now, but theoretically, if I wanted to clear it, I can go ahead and do that. I don't know, I've heard mixed opinions on it and whatnot, and I don't think I want to clear it because I keep changing it up and doing stuff and whatnot. But yeah, at least it's done, and I guess that's it for the metalwork on this car for now. Well, I just put in gas for the first time since we changed out the sending unit. I put in 6 gallons. This is a 16-gallon tank. That's right on the money, so we'll see if it's actually accurate now. Well, the gas gauge seems to be pretty accurate now. It's been working all day, which is a huge relief because that was getting to be quite a pain. So I think we're both pretty happy with the outcome of that. I hate when the answer is just a manufacturer defect, but I guess that's what it is. Sometimes I'll take it. Cowl is now done. So we went ahead, did a couple other little things to the car that I've been wanting to do for a while now. Also got new front tires, because when we set the original alignment like 2 years ago, I wanted the car very low, and that ended up making the inner treads here become bald after 15,000 miles. So I figured before we go do 2,500 miles across half the country, I should probably get new front tires. Did that. Speaking of tires, got these BFGs here, thanks to my buddy Dean. He tossed these on my beater wheels for me, and I got a spare in the trunk, and I got 2 tires on the back. So I think we can all imply what these 2 are going to be for. So that's pretty exciting. But yeah, other than that, everything on my list here is crossed off except for one thing, which is in this little box right here. I'm going to try to knock this out within the next day or 2, and then that's pretty much it. Did a few things to my dad's car. He put new pads on it, and then wanted to mess with his intake / air filter setup a little bit, so he redid that. Other than that, I think that's pretty much everything that we wanted to get done on both the cars here. So there we have it. The final thing I want to do to this thing was the livery. Basically just numbers, quarter lettering, the flag. I had everything else set. But yeah, I think that looks pretty sweet. I was waiting until I can get a cage in this car to do this stuff, because I feel like it's kind of weird to have race car stuff without a cage. I don't know, personal thing, but ended up not happening. So yeah, went ahead and did it anyway, and I think it doesn't look too bad. So obviously got the cam racing on the quarter, and I'm gonna kind of explain this because I feel like a lot of people don't know. So cam, that's my initials. My dad had cam racing on some of his old dirt track cars a long time ago when I was like very short. I'd show you how short, but I don't think the camera spans that far. And then the 11, this is the Yarbrough 11 font, who I am named after. And fun fact, I was also born on the 11th. He was number 11, so it just kind of all circles back. So that's basically the meaning behind that. I had the that made by like a sticker shop. These actually had to make by hand because I could not find a file of this actual font. So basically just made a template, traced it out on the black, cut out the black, and then I laid the black on a white sheet of vinyl and went ahead and just cut it out. I forget what I did. I think I did like a 1/8 inch gap all the way around. I don't really remember. So that was a lot of work cutting those out. I think I'm just gonna do this temporary for now. If I were to do it permanently, like I said, do it permanently, I think I'm gonna wait till I get a cage in this. This is like a race car. I think I'd actually go ahead and paint them on and then kind of patina it up to match and all and everything. So I don't know, it's kind of cool. We got the 70s Yarbrough font on there. I went with like some 70s lettering, and then all these Fender decals are actually 70s from the NASCAR, minus the AMD one, but they sent me a file of their old logo, and then I had them made into like these square or rectangle, I guess, stickers, so it kind of matches the theme here. And then the Southwest Performance Parts ones, that's not a 70s sticker, and obviously the cam one here. But everything on the Fender here I have on the car. Well, I was gonna say everything, but now that I'm realizing it, I've changed a lot of things up. But we got the Dr. Gas boom tubes, we got Holley stuff, I got some Moog stuff on the front. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think my favorite one though is the Rico Ride one. That was very hard to find, but I somehow found it off some eBay site, and yeah, it took a while to gather. I got the old Winston Cup logo on there, and that's the spot where they had them on the car. So yeah, I'm kind of nerding out over this stuff, but I think it's cool. It brings a little bit of a different look to it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Everything is set for power tour now. We leave in less than 48 hours. And like I said in the last video, it'll be daily videos, probably Monday through Friday, all this coming week. That's my goal. I don't know if I'm gonna do a video of like the drive down or drive back, because it's literally just 500 miles of driving. It's not very exciting, but we'll see. So lots to look forward to.